You know, it's dawned on me as I get older that arriving at the airport as a senior can be very stressful and cause a lot of anxiety. And it really doesn't have to do that if you already have some pre knowledge and have an idea of what's available to you to cut back on that stress and that anxiety. So I hope by going through 5 points today, we'll give you a little bit more information, arm you to be more relaxed, more comfortable, so that your trip starts off on the right foot. I do want to disclose something that at the time of this video, the dollar amounts that I'm going to quote were accurate. And as far as the information goes that I'm going to talk about, it was also accurate at the time of this video. But if there's anything that I say that's wrong, I take ownership of it. Easy as that. But I'd like to hear about those mistakes, if there are any, in the comments. I'll be happy to do an updated video to let everybody know what you all tell me. Okay, the first program is called TSA Cares. And it's a program run, obviously, by TSA. And what it does is when you go on there, you tell them what airport you're flying from and the time that you're planning to arrive at the airport. They will then have a specially trained TSA agent walk you through the whole process. They'll be with you from the first step to the very last step. They'll explain everything, what they're doing, why they're not doing something, why they are doing something, why you have to give up your cane. Can you get one? What happens when you go through the security if they need to do a pat down? Can you sit down? Can you ask for it in private? Can you ask for a TSA agent of your same gender? They'll explain all of that to you. They are just so nice and so sweet, and they will take their time because they want this to be a very unstressful situation for you. And it's free, and so it doesn't cost you a penny. I strongly recommend it if you haven't been through TSA recently. It will really make you feel a lot better. The next one is PreCheck. It's $85 for 5 years. It needs your fingerprints. It needs a picture. My daughter did it at Staples. She went up in the line to sign up for PreCheck. I went over, made copies. We were both done about the same amount of time. And it came in the mail to her. So now she can use that because on your boarding pass, it will tell you each and every time TSA PreCheck or not. And they'll direct you to the proper line when you get to the airport. There is a second one that they've come out now. It's called PreCheck Touchless. And it's works so that with the regular PreCheck, you have to, at some airports, have a boarding pass and your ID, others just your ID. And then they take a picture, they scan your ID, and send you on your way. With the touchless, you simply walk up, they take your picture, there's no ID handed over, there's no boarding pass handed over, and you go right on through. I'm going to be using it in a few weeks for the first time. I will get back and report back to see how it went and to let everybody know. All I did was go on, like I said, to my United app, scan my passport, and that was all there was to it. Doesn't cost anything extra. There is another program, and it's not directly related to TSA, and it's called Clear. Now, Clear costs $219 per year per person. So it is a little bit more expensive than TSA PreCheck. And if you want to register a friend or family member under your account, it's $125 per year for them. But any children flying with you under the age of 18 are free. Don't cost a thing for them. And what they use is basically biometrics. You walk up to the Clear counter, they scan your eyes, identify who you are, and then one of their representatives will actually take you right up to the front of the TSA line. I've seen it. I've seen 100 people in line, and out of the corner, here comes a Clear agent along with the passenger right to the very front. At that point, they scan your ID, and you go through, and the rest of the security happens just like it does for everybody else. Now, when you return, there's a little different system. The premier one is called Global Entry, and it's $120 for 5 years. Now, the beauty of it is, if you pay for Global Entry, you also get PreCheck included for the same period of time, so you get two basically for just a little bit more than the price of your pre-check was. And it's a separate counter. It's all digital. They take a picture and that's it. And then through you go. They call your name, look at your passport, and you're gone. I mean, the last time I went through, I was moving a little slow and they kept calling my name. Come on, Paul, come on up. So it was great because I've landed at JFK and I usually fly back on an A380, 500 plus passengers. And if you get 3 of those landing at the same time, you're talking 1,500 people going through immigration. The line is endless, totally. And if you can use Global Entry, you're in and out in no time, and you're off to go get your suitcase and your luggage. Or if you don't have any with you, you're right on through and you're going to get your ride to wherever you're going. Now, the renewals are really nice because the original one, when you first sign up for it, you have to go through an interview. And it requires an interview with an agent, border control agent, and then they take your fingerprints, your eye scan, your picture, and you get conditionally approved. And then depending on how busy the system is and how backed up it is, in probably a month at the most, you'll get your Global Entry card in the mail. Now, I live in a small town, and my airport does not have a facility to do Global Entry interviews. So what Global Entry's come up with, which is really ingenious, is what they call interview on arrival. So if you're arriving at one of the larger airports, New York, Philadelphia, Boston, Atlanta, Miami, and anywhere even on the West Coast, you can simply, if you've already been conditionally approved, go up to the Global Entry line, inform the agent, they'll look on the computer, they will actually do the interview right there and then you'll be on your way, you'll go right through, you'll be done, and in, again, a month maybe, a few weeks, you'll get your card in the mail. It's really great. Renewals are always done online, so you don't have to worry about going through the interview process again. It's not necessary, But not everybody flies often enough to spend that $120. Not everybody's got a credit card that's going to pay that $120. But there is another program, and it's called Mobile Passport Control. And it's run by the U.S. Customs Department. And you simply go on their website, Mobile Passport Control, and you can do it on your way back. And you answer the questions, you take a selfie, and the beauty of it is one application is good for your entire family. So your children, you don't need to have a special application for them. You take your picture, you take their pictures. When you land and you're just coming down the taxiway and the airplane's braking to slow down, you send the picture and the information off. Normally, before you even get to the gate, you will get approval. You simply take that approval along with your passport into the immigration hall and you look for the sign that says Mobile Passport Control. It shouldn't be hard to find because it's going to be pretty empty. It is one of the best kept secrets in the world. You go up, no cost, and you're through in no time at all, while all those other people are just standing there doing nothing or waiting. But I've realized that through all of this, the key is to allow yourself enough time. You don't want to be rushed. You want to eliminate the stress. I mean, I have seen lines at airports for TSA that rival lines at Disney for their most expensive and most wanted rides. I have stood in line half hour, 45 minutes. But that was in the day where I could run to the gate or at least walk fast. Now, one time I made a plane, I was the last passenger on board. If that was today, I'd have just turned around and gone and sat at the bar and had a drink because there's nothing else I could have done about it. You need to make sure. Other times, there's nobody in line. But you never know. What you can do if you want to give yourself a little bit more information, there is also an app called My TSA. You can go on there, put in the airline or the airport, that you're flying from, and the time you think you're going to get there. Basically, they can tell you right away what the line looks like currently at that airport. course, you can just guess what it's going to look like in 2 or 3 hours when you get there, but at least you have some idea and it gives you a little clue, you know. I would personally rather go through a few minutes, 15, 20 minutes early, than sweat about wondering if I'm ever going to make it or not. Now, one last bonus tip is if you're like me, and I have some physical limitations now, probably due to my age, and mobility is not my friend. So, what I do before I fly is I go online to my frequent flyer account with a particular airline I'm going to be flying, or I call them at their customer service and I request a wheelchair. That way, when I get to the airport and I check my bag in, there'll be somebody there with a wheelchair waiting for me. They'll take me from that point all the way down to security, through security, and then to the gate. So I arrive relaxed. It doesn't really cost you anything. The whole service is free. Now, you can tip if you wish, but you're not required to, but it's normally done. You know, and trust me when I tell you, airline terminals can be endless. I have walked and walked and walked, sat in more seats along the way. You know, I think sometimes I walk slower through the airport and it takes me longer than it almost took the flight. Don't tire yourself out before you're starting on a long flight, especially if you're going overseas and you're flying 6, 7, 8, 9 hours. Take advantage of it. Let them wheel you right up to the gate. You get on the plane, you're feeling much better about yourself, you're feeling physically better to start the flight, and you can do the same thing on the other end. So take advantage of these services that are available. You know, check out the pre-check, check out global entry, mobile passport control, and clear. See which one works better for you. I'm sure that using some of this will make your next trip that much more enjoyable. I'd love to hear in your comments. If there's anything I missed or you think I misspoke, please let me know. And if you like this type of information, I would love you to like and subscribe. And I look forward to posting more videos so that we can talk and I can give you some information, tell you some stories, and have a good time. Have a good evening, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.